Okay, right now we're going to Lazarus Saturday, so let's go. Can everybody just move?
Guys, come this way.
Now a certain man was sick, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. So the sisters sent word to him, saying, Lord, behold, he who we love is sick. Jesus stayed where he is for 2 days, then started his trip to Bethany.
This sickness is not to end in death, no, but for the glory of God. Lazarus, our friend, has fallen asleep. Come so that we may wake him up.
Now Jesus had spoken of his death, but they thought that he was speaking of literal sleep. So when Jesus came, he found that he had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off. Martha, therefore, when she heard that Jesus was coming, went to meet him, but Mary stayed at the house.
Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Even now I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give it.
Martha, your brother will rise again.
I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day.
I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this?
Yes, Lord, I have believed that you are the Christ, the Son of God, even he who comes into the world.
When she had said this, she went away and called Mary her sister, saying secretly, The teacher is here and is calling for you. And when she heard it, she got up quickly and was coming to him. Now Jesus had not yet come to his village, but was still in the place where Martha met him. Martha came to the house and put her arm on Mary. Therefore when Mary came where Jesus was, she saw him and fell at his feet, saying, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in his spirit and was troubled.
Where have you laid him?
Lord, come and see.
Jesus wept. So Jesus, again being deeply moved within, came to the tomb. Now it was a cave and a stone lying against it.
Remove the stone.
Lord, by this time know is that for now and then there is.
Did I not say to you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?
So they removed the stone.
Father, I thank you for you have heard me, but because of the people standing by, I have said it, so that they may believe that you sent me. Lazarus, come forth!
The man who had died came forth, bound hand and foot with wrappings, and his face was wrapped around with a cloth.
Unbind him and let him go.
He who sits among the cherubim, today appeared in Jerusalem, riding on a colt with great glory, surrounded by ranks of angels.
And now, as you see, on Palm Sunday is the day that Jesus entered into the great city of Jerusalem. He rode on a cloth, while a large crowd of people sang and rejoicing, Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, even the King of Israel.
On the road they spread garments, and from the trees they cut branches, while proclaiming with hymns, Hosanna to the Son of David.
Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, your king is coming to you. He is just and having salvation, lowly and riding on a donkey, a colt, the foal of a donkey.
Today the sayings are fulfilled from the prophecies and the proverbs that Zechariah prophesied and said, a prophecy about Jesus.
Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, even the King of Israel.
Fear not, daughter of Zion, behold your king is coming, sitting on the donkey's colt.
He who sits upon the cherubim to reign appeared in Jerusalem, riding on a colt with glory, surrounded by.
Then each man hastened to take his garment and put it under him on the top of the steps. And they blew trumpets, saying, Jehu is king.
Ranks of angels on the road they spread garments, and from the trees they cut branches, while proclaiming with hymns, Hosanna to the Son of David.
Okay, so right now on Monday. Who knows what happened on Monday? Alright.
Today is Monday of Holy Week. As Jesus was returned, as was going to Jerusalem, he found people selling and buying in the temple. So he made a whip out of cords and kicked them out, took their animals and overturned their merchandise tables and said,
It is written that my Father's house should be called a house of prayer for all nations, and you have made it into a den of thieves.
As Jesus leaves the temple, the lame and blind approach him and he heals them. When the chief priests, scribes, and Pharisees heard this, they wondered how they might destroy Jesus, because they feared him, for the people were astonished at his teaching. As Jesus was returning to the city from Bethany, he was hungry. He saw a fig tree by the road, so he went up to it and saw nothing on it but leaves. So he said to it,
Guys, turn that way. Look this way.
No fruit shall ever grow in you again.
Hi guys. Okay. So right now, when you were just right before you came down, what was the last thing that happened?
I just came.
What was the last thing? Find one of those upstairs. What was the last thing that happened? What was the last thing? Come on.
The fig trees.
Fig tree. I heard someone say fig tree. Right. So the last thing that happened, Christ passed by the fig tree. How did this fig tree look? Did it look nice? Did it look ugly? It looked really nice, right? It was filled with a lot of leaves. So Christ went and he wanted to eat a fig, one of its fruit. And what did he find?
Nothing.
No figs, right? So what did Christ do? He cursed it. He said, no one will eat from your figs ever again. Later that day, him and his disciples are walking. And Simon Peter points at the tree and says, look, Lord, the tree that you cursed, it's withered. Right? What does this mean for us? Why would Christ curse the tree? Because on the outside it looked really good, but on the inside it was what? It was empty. Right? In our lives, we have to make sure that even if the outside is good, the inside is good too. We can't just go to church or go to Sunday school, right? We can't just do good things on the outside, but in the inside have no relationship with God, right? Our inside has to be good too. And if it's not, what do we look like?
This.
We look like the cursed fig tree. And Simon Peter was so surprised. He was like, Lord, the fig tree that you cursed, it's now withered. But Christ is like, why are you surprised?
Alright.
Assuredly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what was done to the fig tree, but also if you say to a mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, it will be done. And whatever things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive.
Okay, so now we're going to Tuesday.
All right, so welcome everybody. Welcome on Tuesday. This is like a small version for Jerusalem. And I think I don't need a mic. My voice is already loud and we're gonna start now.
Hi everyone, so this is Tuesday of Holy Week, and on this day, Jesus walked around Jerusalem saying many parables and was preaching to everyone, and so one of his famous parables were the 10 virgins. So we're going to watch a video, and we're going to see what happened.
shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made. I say unto you, ye know ye not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.
And we have a message from Jesus for today.
As we said before, you must remain faithful in prayer. And if you are faithful for what you ask for in prayer, you will indeed receive it. And when you're standing in prayer, if you have anything against anyone, forgive them, just as your Father in heaven will forgive you.
Alright, so today, which is Tuesday's message is to be ready. So do you know, guys, ready for what? I'm asking the kids, do you know ready for what? Ready for what?
Jesus' second coming.
Jesus the second coming, that's exactly. We're waiting for heaven and waiting Jesus for the second coming. And that's why we give the kids this slide in order to remind them to be ready. You guys can keep it. And thank you for joining our Tuesday, and let's move to Wednesday.
Alright guys. Today we have special guests that made contrasting choices. Come, let's see what happened today. The Jewish leaders gathered everyone together and made an announcement.
Come on, guys, we have to try harder to find Jesus.
Judas was there and heard that the high priest was saying,
Look, it's Judas, one of Jesus' friends. Not anymore. I'm not. What will you give me if I help and tell you where Jesus is? I'll give you silver.
So he promised and sought opportunity to betray him to them in the absence of the multitude. Simon invites Jesus over his house for dinner. While they were talking, guys, move this way. Everybody can move the stool over here. While they were talking, a woman walks in and starts doing something strange.
What is she doing? She could have sold the fragrant oil and gave the money to the poor.
Let her alone. Assuredly I say to you, what this woman has done will be told wherever the gospel is preached all over the world, and it will be told as a memorial to her.
Like we just saw, we all have a choice. We can either fall into sin and betray Jesus like Judas did, or we can be like Mary and love him so much that we sacrifice everything for him.
Hi guys, welcome to Covenant Thursday. We will go through the important events that happened in that day. Does anyone know what happened on Holy Thursday? Just let the kids come. Okay, so today 3 major events happened. The washing of the disciples' feet, the Last Supper, and the breaking of the bread and the wine, the Eucharist. Come in and let's see what happened.
Where would you like me to prepare the Passover, Master?
Peter and John, go into the city, and there you will find a certain man carrying a jar of water. Go to him and say to him, the Master says, my time is near, and I must celebrate the Passover with my disciples at your house. He will then show you a large and furnished upper room. Make your preparations there.
Do you guys know who Jesus is talking about here? Where's the Last Supper? Good job. That's St. Mark right there.
The Master has sent us to do the Passover in your house. Come, let me show you where you can prepare your meals.
Guys, go into St. Mark's all the way.
Hey guys, come over here. Put the kids in the front.
You, there you go, front, please. Adults in the back. You in the front. In the front. Down. Adults in the back. Sit down. Please. Please go in.
St. Mark leads St. Peter and St. John into the upper room where the Last Supper will take place. The disciples all take their seats because they were very tired from the long walk. The day of the Passover is here. Jesus and the disciples are in St. Mark's house sitting in the upper room prepared by St. Peter and St. John.
I was always the greatest, but I'm the greatest yet to come.
Many may not know this, but it is tradition for the Jews to wash their hands before each meal and to have their feet washed by the youngest in the room. In this room, it's St. John. But first, something else happened. Let's go and check it out.
Come, so I shall wash your feet.
Jesus gets up and wraps a towel around his waist, pours water into a basin, and begins to wash his disciples' feet.
Lord, are you going to wash my feet, Lord?
You do not understand what I'm doing now, but you will understand it in the future.
But Lord, you shall never wash my feet.
Peter, unless I wash you, you have no part with me.
But Lord, you will have to wash me from my head down.
He who has had his feet washed, his whole body is clean. You are clean, Peter, but not every one of you in this room are clean.
Jesus knew who was going to betray him, and that is why he said that not everyone in this room was clean.
All of them. The kids. No, it's all good.
When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place at the table.
Surely I say to you, one of you shall betray me.
Why do you think Christ washed the disciples' feet? No? No one knows? Okay, so he did this to teach us a lesson. He wanted to teach us that we can be humble and that through humility we will be blessed. The disciples began to eat and talk again.
Surely I say to you, one of you shall betray me.
They were very sad, and each one of them began to say to him, one after the next, "Is it me, Lord?"
He who dips his hand into the bowl with me shall betray me. Woe to the man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better had he not been born.
Then Judas dips into Jesus' bowl.
Is it me, Rabbi? You have said so.
Then Judas gets up and leaves. While they were eating, Jesus took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying,
Take, eat of it, all of you, for this is my body.
Then Jesus took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying,
Take, drink of it, all of you, for this is my blood of the new covenant, which is poured out for you and for many, to be given for the remission of sins. Verily I say unto you, I will not drink of this cup again until the day I drink it with you in my Father's kingdom. This very night you shall stray from me. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered.
Lord, but I should never betray you, Lord.
Peter, very assuredly I say unto you, before the rooster crows twice, you shall deny me 3 times.
Lord, but to the end of my life, I shall never ever betray you.
And all the disciples began to say the same.
I will never deny you.
Never.
As you have seen, on Covenant Thursday, important events happened like the washing of the disciples' feet. Why do you think Jesus did this? I said it before.
You wanted to be humble.
He taught us how to be humble and to serve others. Jesus also wants to set himself as an example. And finally, on the same day, he constituted the first communion. The end.
Guys, any question?